Optimal organizational positioning for regulatory affairs really depends on the institution. But the common theme that's really you've seen over the last several years is really an elevation of the role, stature, and the mission within the organizations. Historically, regulatory affairs teams or functions might have been within legal or compliance, and often risk teams had people that were dedicated to dealing with regulators. But the primary activities of those teams, and I'm really speaking historically here, was often highly administrative in nature. They managed exams and they managed issues. They responded to regulatory inquiries, and sometimes they worked on compiling regulatory filings. These are all really critical activities and they need to be done well. But organizations, I think, are realizing that their regulatory relationships are far more strategic. Organizations really need leaders who can understand and can anticipate the regulator's perspective and can productively contribute their insight to strategic discussions at the highest level of the organization, including with the C-suite and the board. So with this elevation in stature, today's regulatory teams often have representatives at the executive management level and sometimes reporting directly to the CEO. These regulatory affairs teams are normally interacting with and supporting the areas that get a lot of attention from regulators. So they support the whole institution, but often find themselves dealing with a few areas in particular. Those areas, given the regulatory focus on control and governance, often are compliance and risk. So the relationship between the regulatory affairs teams and the compliance and the risk teams really needs to be quite good. Regulatory teams can be quite helpful in assessing new regulatory requirements and the issues that regulators raise, and then also working to implement solutions that will be effective and efficient from the organization's perspective. Some organizations find that an informal or formal matrix structure provides important added value to the regulatory relationship. So key businesses, support functions, and control functions will have a designated team member that is linked to the regulatory affairs team. So they may not have a direct reporting structure, but there are usually mechanisms to keep those people informed about what's going on the regulatory level, and also have those people have a contact for raising any sort of highlights or regulatory issues that they anticipate or see in their own business or function.